All right, guys, let's get started with the interview. So there's 10 questions. Let's get started with number one. Who were your inspirations growing up? So growing up, I watched a lot of tennis, soccer, or as the world likes to call it, football. Here in Australia, we call it soccer because we're weird. Obviously, table tennis, and not really much else. So watching these sports pretty much all the time and not much else. My main idols were Timo Boll, Wang Lichin, little bit of Ru Min, also probably Ma Long coming up, Chen Qi. When I was a kid, those guys were starting to make their way, pretty much already be in the Chinese national team behind the three, Wang Lichin, Ma Lin, Wang Hao. Also a bit of Schlager, because he won the World Championships. So I thought as a non-Chinese guy doing that was extremely inspiring and impressive. Going on to the tennis, that's easily the biggest sport I watch apart from table tennis. So Rafael Nadal, probably I'm worldwide famous or worldwide semi-famous for imitating his ass picking, imitating his voice. He is the biggest idol for me as a sportsman. Just his attitude, his kindness, his charismatic behavior, his character, just all the values that he shows, fighting spirit, all the values that he shows that I think every person in the world, whether you're an athlete or not, could really, really model yourself and learn from and become a great human from. Next question. Your nickname is Who Dog, which usually means someone with a never say die attitude. Do you think attitude is a factor in winning? So this, again, is very much related to me seeing so much Rafa Nadal when I was a kid. When I was 8 years old, fortunately, we have the Australian Open. So every January, the whole country would be so focused on the tennis. I'd be in front of the screen screaming, just so nervous, hoping that Rafa won. And just seeing how hard he worked, how even when tough times came, how much he'd just grind and be ready to play for 10 hours if he needed to. So I guess I've always grown up with parents who encouraged me to do that, my brother who pushed me, and seeing that kind of person like Nadal a lot. So I don't think the name Hugh Dog is anything related to the never say die attitude that I have as well in my daily life and sport. But who knows? Maybe it is. But definitely, I think to be successful and to win in life, to win in sports as well, it's a thing that everyone should definitely have. Number 3, what do you feel are your strengths as a table tennis player? As a table tennis player myself, I feel like my game is pretty all-round. It's hard to say exactly which one shot or couple of shots is way better than the others. But generally, I think generally speaking, my returner serve, my forehand topspin, my ability to move, that's when I'm playing my best, when I'm really on my feet and trying to run around and hunt for forehands. Yet at the same time, I do like to play my backhand topspin. Getting into the open rallies is, I'd say, more of my strength than not. Number 4, which coaching style brings out the best in you? So the coaching style that brings out the best in me is someone who's on the bench. I don't actually need them to say that much, because once I'm out in the court, I don't feel like I can improve my game while I'm playing a match or in the midst of a tournament. I can learn things from the moment, but at that time, I just feel like I need someone to calm me down, keep me level-headed, never get too excited when the match is still going, not finished yet, and I've had a good moment, and not be too down when a set or another point doesn't go my way. Someone who's keeping me, someone who's very positive and someone who's very energetic, encouraging me strongly to keep fighting hard, keep fighting for every point like hell, like there's no tomorrow. Number 5, you're a big tennis fan and love Rafael Nadal. What attributes do you like about him? So I think I've covered this in the first question. I love how much of a fighter he is, but at the same time, I feel like he's actually quite shy. And for me, it's always been quite adorable in a way. All right, so off to number 6. All right, so number 6. What are your 2 favorite table tennis drills on the table? I try to do all the different drills. because I'm someone who loves to run around and play my forehand, and at the same time, I'm not someone who's only a one-sided player. I am a pretty all-rounded player with both my sides going really strong. So I try to do all sorts of the exercises, whether it's 2-2, whether it's backhand middle, backhand forehand, 3-point forehand, free to the backhand. But I guess my two favorite drills would be where I have two blockers on the other side. That sort of practice I love to do because I can hit the ball anywhere in the court. I'm not restricted to practicing where I only hit to one side of the table, to one person's block. I can hit to two people's block, or I can also crunch the ball down the middle when I feel like hitting a winner. So that's one of my favorite drills. If I had to limit it to an exercise, probably free to backhand and probably 3-point forehand. Number 7, can you give our readers 2 of your favorite physical exercises that help your table tennis? I love to squat and I love to do chin-ups. When I do chin-ups, I feel like the exercise is to build my back strength, my general upper body strength as well. It tests your weight to strength ratio. So it's a perfect exercise to maintain good strength or build good strength compared to how much weight you got. So you might meet someone who is really huge, really strong, but then they weigh about 120 kilos. They're going to struggle to do a chin-up. Or you might see some guy you think is really skinny. They might be like 50 kilos, but for 50 kilos, they're actually really strong if they're able to do a lot of chin-ups and really quite better than the average person. Squats definitely, because I feel like my legs get stronger really more than any other exercise, and it's perfect for table tennis. Number 8, if you could choose one player to watch, who would it be and why? I like watching many different players for many different reasons. But if I could only choose one player, it'll probably be a tie between Marlon, Fan Zhendong, and Timo Boll. Number 9, how do you get the best out of each training session? So everyone's been through sessions where you turn up to a training session, you feel like you're distracted, other things in your life are coming in. Then there's the other sessions where you're able to find what your purpose is for the session. So this session, I want to improve, for example, my short touch, my short push. This session, I want to improve my forehand flip, or I want to improve my serve and next ball. When you give yourself purposes like that, you're more likely to focus and you're more likely to treat training like a match. And that's how you get the best out of each training session. When you treat training like a match, you have the same intensity, the same focus, the same willpower, the same want to win every point and try so hard. That's when you close the gap between training and matches, and that you will find that you'll get benefits when you play matches and experience pressure too. Last question. Finally, in these crazy times, what exercises are you able to do to stay in shape? So obviously, we all know that the coronavirus has given us, the whole world, a situation where we're restricted to our homes. At least I hope so. Everyone, please stay home, stay clean, wash your hands, keep your social distance. Now, I think for those who actually have space, those who live in an apartment will probably struggle a bit more. But those who live with their families or in a house and have a garage, have space for a table and a robot, are the more fortunate ones. And the ones who have family members that are also table tennis players are even more luckier. So if you're one of those ones, whether you're one of the luckier or not ones, in these crazy times, you can keep exercising, you can do push-ups, you can squat, whether you have weights or not at home. I'm not a personal trainer, so I won't recommend too many exercises there. Whatever you have, you've got to make use of it now, because we're all stuck in the home for the foreseeable future. If you've got a table, you can do the same exercises that you always do, depending on how much spaces you have at home. For now, it's probably going to be harder to lob the ball around, smash, fish, go topspin to topspin, but now's the time where it's perfect to work on your service training. If you have a partner, luckily, you can get them to block a few balls for you, feed some multi-ball, get the robot to give you certain things. And now's also a great time that you can knuckle down on things that you don't normally get to practice during the competition season. So let's say during the competition season, I'm not going to really experiment with too many different services because there's a few that I trust under pressure. And I know that in the next 2 weeks when I have my competition, I'm not going to be using that new serve that I've been training. But now there's not going to be any competitions for who knows how long. If I were to wildly guess, I'd probably say anywhere between 3-4 months to 1 year. But again, fingers crossed, the more we can stay at home, the more we can do it better together, the quicker this will all end. I would say this is a perfect time to go and work on things that you always wanted to work on in your game, whether it's building new serves, working on certain patterns that you know will take time to build. Go for all them. Now is the time to do it. All jokes aside, I think everyone in the table tennis world is going to come back from the coronavirus into competition and back to table tennis halls when this is over with fantastic serves. So there you have it. Thank you for listening to the whole interview until now. Much love, Hemminghu. Download TTFIT app. That's also another way you can also engage with table tennis while this pandemic's going on. So peace out. All the best to everyone. Much love. Spread love around the world. Thank you.